What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Andy Fade Master here. What? Now I'm just coming to you guys as promised on my Instagram page to make a video and to show you guys how to remove the skin line or pretty much any line and have your fades looking crispy. Alright? But before we get started and all the cutting and all that extra stuff, I want to go back to the framework and I want to show you guys 3 tips on how you can fade out these lines a lot easier and make sure that your fades are coming out a lot more crispy.
Andy Fade Master.
So for this demonstration, I'm going to be using my cordless wall magic clips. As you guys know, I use these a lot in my newer videos that I'm taking. And if you see a lot of the videos that are on my Instagram, these are the clippers that I use the most. So I'm going to use these for the demonstration. So the first thing I want you guys to start noticing and paying attention to is how you grip the clipper. What I mean is literally how you hold the clipper. Now, when I get a lot of newer barbers in my shop, I pay very close attention to what they do because I want to be able to teach them and show them different ways to better their craft. First thing I notice is how they're holding the clipper. I noticed after a long career of cutting hair that the looser the grip, the easier it is to flick out the lines. So what do I mean by looser the grip? A lot of people I see, they grab real tight and they try to, you know what I mean? They're like this, or you're one of these guys that are, you rocking that C motion that they teach you. I want you to kind of put that a little bit to the side. Now, if you ever watch the way I cut, I hold the clipper in my fingertips as much as possible. And I just pretty much use my knuckles to bend. So I have a very, very loose grip while I'm cutting hair. And what this does is it allows me to control the lengths of the hair. Because if I'm cutting like this, it's gonna cut a lot shorter. If I'm cutting like this, it's gonna cut a lot longer. But transitioning the clipper from this to this is very simple if you have a loose grip. If you're trying to do that with an iron grip, you see how much more of your elbow, your arm, you gotta use you gotta be going like this to change this angle to this angle. So in order for me to fade out, sometimes shorter, sometimes longer, sometimes closer, using only a corner, I hold the clipper with just my fingertips. So that's the first tip that I have for you guys. When you're gripping the clipper, try to have the loosest grip you can without dropping the clipper. And if you drop it, you may have to replace the blades or something, but as soon as you start getting this first tip down packed, your fades are already gonna start to come out cleaner. The lines are already gonna start to come out easier. So that's the first tip that I have for you guys, the grip. You don't want to grip. You want to have a nice, loose, let the clipper kind of just hang out. You don't want to have no palm action in there. You know what I mean? Loose. Looser the grip, the easier it is to fade. The second tip that I want to show you guys is the lever. Now the lever comes on the side of pretty much all the professional clippers. It's what we use to fade. First thing I want to give you guys an advice is try to have a loose lever. I know it's a little uncomfortable, you might start raising the lines a little bit or, but like I said, practice makes perfect. So you want to have a loose lever. If you look, I'm going to turn my clipper on for a second here or two, and I'm going to kind of show you with my thumb how loose my lever is. So you see it even closes on its own without me having to touch it. Because every time I get a clipper, I make sure I loosen the lever. Now, when I loosen the lever, it's just because it gives you the ability to surf and slide between those lines without having more lines. It makes the transitioning part smoother. You can go between the levels of hair without saying, all right, that's a quarter, that's a quarter, that's a quarter, and leaving a bunch of quarter lines. You can, slowly get used to it. All right, tip number 3 is understanding the lever and the levels. What the heck does this do? This might be for a lot of the beginners because, the professionals already know it all. So this isn't targeted to you guys. This is for the beginners. This is for somebody that's just wandering on the page, that's trying to figure out how to sharpen their fades. You have to understand how the lever works. So when you watch these instructional videos that I'm going to get posting here, when I'm showing you guys the transitioning and everything that you guys want to see, you got to understand what I'm talking about. So when I say lever back, I mean this. This lever back, or in the open position, is a little bit longer. So it'll be like a half. If you have a number 1 guard on this and you were to pull the lever back, you would have a 1.5. And if you were to close it a little bit more in between the two, you would have a 1.25, or a 1 with it all the way closed. So if it's all the way closed or all the way up, well, let's see how we get that in here. If it's all the way up, then it's gonna cut shorter. If the lever's back, it's gonna cut longer. Now you guys might be like, duh. Well, to be honest, when I first started messing around with clippers, 10 years old, 11 years old, I didn't understand what that lever was. And the only way that I learned it was being able to open the lever, run a level, close it, run a level next to it, and then kind of use my eye to look at it and be like, this one kind of looks a little longer, this one kind of looks a little shorter. So that's how I figured it out. So I figured I'd throw that little tip in there because it's going to be very, very necessary when you're going in there and you're spot treating. You have to know exactly what the lever levels are in between. So you got to be able to judge just by looking. I'm going to show you guys a couple of little video clips of me flicking away at that line. You want to make sure that you have a loose lever. You want to make sure that you have loose hands. My blade is adjusted to where it's all the way at the top. If you guys want, I'll make a video on that. Just leave it in the comment section if you really want to know how to adjust the blade, and I'll make sure I make a video to show you guys how I have my blade adjusted. You want to have it as close to the front as possible without overlapping it, because if you overlap it, you're going to cut somebody. If you guys have any questions, just make sure you drop it in the comment section. I'm going to show you guys a couple of clips, show you how I flick away that line, and now you know, loose grip, loose lever, and just flick away. Stay tuned.